Breaking the Curse, a tale of love and unity. River Rapogi marked the boundary that separated two warring villages, Taler and Adhiang, nestled on opposite hills. Taler was renowned for its learned people, many of whom held prestigious positions in government. By contrast, Adhiang was often derided as backward in education and opportunity. This disparity fueled an enduring enmity with no resolution in sight. Schools in Taler thrived, while the few in Adhiang were dilapidated and neglected. Despite the hostility, people from Adhiang longed for their sons and daughters to marry into Taler, hoping to secure better futures. Yet, the people of Taler strictly forbade such unions, disowning any who dared to cross the line, figuratively or literally. Okello, a young man from Taler, was a third-year university student at the prestigious University of Hai. He rarely visited his village, but during an unusual long break, he returned home and often strolled along River Rapogi to enjoy the cool evening breeze. One evening, as he wandered, he noticed a young woman fetching water across the stream. He paused to watch her. She noticed his gaze and stopped, staring back. For what felt like an eternity, they exchanged glances before Okello returned and walked away, his thoughts filled with the image of the beautiful stranger. The next evening, Okello returned to the river, hoping to see her again. He lingered longer than usual, but left disappointed as dusk settled. At home, his mother Paulina noticed his unusual demeanor. "What kept you so late today?" she asked, concern evident in her voice. "Nothing, Mom. Just enjoying the evening breeze," he replied, forcing a smile. Yet, during dinner, his absent-mindedness gave him away. Paulina, ever observant, pressed further. "You're not eating like yourself. Is everything all right?" "I'm fine, just tired from walking," he answered, retreating to his room before she could inquire further. The following evening, fate intervened. As Okello approached the river, he spotted the same young woman with a pot balanced on her head. She bent to draw water, and unable to contain herself, Okello clapped and whistled. She spilled the water and fled, her swift steps carrying her far from the river. She didn't stop until she encountered her friend Anyango. "What's wrong, Howie? Why are you out of breath?" Anyango asked. "You won't believe it. They've decided to stop us from fetching water at River Rapogi," Howie exclaimed. "Who? What are you talking about?" "A young man from Taler. He clapped and whistled at me as if I didn't belong there." Realizing the misunderstanding, Anyango chuckled. "That doesn't sound serious, Howie. Let's go back together. I'll fetch my pot." When they returned to the river, Okello was still strolling. "Hello, girls," he greeted, his voice warm. "Hello," Anyango replied, while Howie shyly tried to hide behind her friend. "Tell your friend not to be afraid. I mean no harm," Okello said, addressing Anyango. "She's just not used to strangers," Anyango explained. Okello said, "I wish I could cross over and talk to her properly." "Cross over? Your people will disown you," Anyango teased. "Love knows no boundaries," he replied with a smile. "Are you sure you're from Tyler?" Anyango asked, incredulous. "Yes, but I believe it's time for us, the young generation, to break these divisions. We can help our parents move past these outdated ways." "Be careful. Those who've tried before paid a high price," Anyango warned. "I'm no better than them," Okello said, crossing the river boldly. He extended his hand in greeting, first to Anyango, then to Howie, who hesitated before shaking it. "Take care in your journey of bringing peace," Howie finally said, her voice soft but steady. "Thank you. I'm glad you've spoken," Okello replied, his face lighting up. They parted ways, with Okello returning home in high spirits. His joyful demeanor was contagious, and Paulina was delighted to see her son so cheerful. That night, as Howie lay in bed, she couldn't stop thinking about Okello. She marveled at his humility and boldness, traits she had never associated with anyone from Tyler. Meanwhile, Anyango couldn't shake the feelings that Okello's interest lay more with her than Howie. The next morning, Anyango visited Howie to reflect to their encounter. Their discussion quickly turned into an argument about who Okello meant when he said, "Love knows no boundaries." "Let's wait and hear it from him," Howie said, hoping to end the debate. Anyango was offended. She decided to fetch water alone from that day on, believing her role in bringing Okello closer had been overlooked. Howie, on the other hand, felt Okello's interest stemmed from their initial interaction. The following evening, Anyango went to the stream, hoping to see him again. She drew water slowly, trying to buy time as she waited for his arrival. As dusk settled and it still didn't appear, she decided to leave. This routine repeated for 3 consecutive days, but she never caught sight of him. Unbeknownst to her, Okello had been coming to the stream as usual. However, whenever he spotted Anyango, he hid behind the bushes, ensuring she didn't see him. On the 4th day, impatience got the better of him. Believing that Howie might be avoiding him by arriving earlier, he decided to head to the stream earlier than usual. Yet, despite his efforts, Howie never appeared. Instead, it was Anyango who came that afternoon. This time, Okello didn't hide. He walked directly to her, his curiosity overpowering his caution. "Where is Howie?" he asked without preamble. "She doesn't live in Adhiang," Anyango replied. "She was just visiting her aunt for a few days." Is she still around? No, she traveled back to her village. Which village is that? Kajulu. Is there any way I could contact her? Why? Anyango narrowed her eyes. I thought your mission was to unite the two warring villages. I'm from Adhiang, and I'm willing to support you in that. There is more to it than just peace between the villages, Okello admitted after a pause. Anyango hesitated, then sighed. I'm sorry, but you won't be able to see her again. Hawi is someone's wife. She has 2 children, and I doubt her husband would allow her to return to Adhiang. Did you say she's married? Okello asked, his voice tight. Yes, with 2 children. Thank you for clarifying, Okello said, his eyes fixed to the path leading to Hawi's former home. As Anyango turned to leave, she balanced her pot on her head. But the sight ahead froze her in place. Her pot slipped, shattering on the ground. Hawi was standing there, rushing forward to help her pick up the broken pieces. And the story continues.